very clever.
Maybe.
If you think. I thought that had been cleared ages ago.
You're very probably right.
You have to watch what you tell me.
Hang on.
Story every time.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
There was a time when things would have got me very troubling.
I better keep
There was a time when things would have gone very differently.
There must be something you want done.
No, the things we guards deal with are a bit above you, kid. You just stick to the tasks your patron sets for you.
Probably right. It was obvious that there would be trouble ahead.
There must be something about that story.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
Who can teach me?
Start with Fingers. He's the most skillful among us. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll find other people who can teach you.
Where can I find Fingers?
His hut's kind of hidden. It's next to the castle wall. Just start out here and go towards the arena. When you're at the castle gate, go down to the left and you'll be heading for the arena.
There must be something about this story after all.
What's the test of faith?
You have to go to the old mine. There you'll meet a guy called Ian. He'll give you a list. This list is important. It contains all the items the guys in the mine need from us. They'll get the stuff with the next convoy.
No problem.
Yes, there is a problem. The new camp must not get that list. Like I said, the list is important. If you do it right, you'll get much further.
Can you teach me something?
Yes, I can teach you to improve your dexterity or your strength. I can't teach you anything. You don't have enough experience. I can't teach you anything. You don't have enough experience. Come back soon. There are many things you need to learn.
What about my esteem within the camp?
I've talked to a few people.
And?
Get on with it. There are still many things to do if you want to get anywhere here in the camp.
Take care.
But keep it to yourself. People don't need to know it.
I can probably rely on somebody.
I doubt that's ever.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
Maybe
Something about that.
would like to be in his shoes, though.
That wasn't very clever.
But keep it to yourself.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
Where do I find the important people?
Must be
Well, you're looking at one of them. Then there's Thoris. You already know him. As for the others, you'll have to find that out by yourself. If you don't manage to do that, you don't belong here anyway. Just go through the outer ring and talk to people. Then you'll find out who's important.
What about my esteem within the camp?
I've talked to a few people.
And?
Get on with it. There are still many things to do if you want to get anywhere here in the camp.
Take care.
Wasn't very clever.
You better not stay here. The orc land starts behind that barricade.
Is it dangerous?
Let me put it like this. You may as well give me all your ore before you go out there and let the orcs rip you to ribbons.
I don't think I want to do that.
In that case, you better not move another step.
If you flick.
Keep it to yourself.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
That's ever likely to change.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
Keep it to yourself. People don't need to know it.
What about my esteem within the camp?
I've talked to a few people.
And?
Get on with it. There are still many things to do if you want to get anywhere here in the camp.
You have to watch what you tell.
Take care.
People always.
Rely on somebody you...
I'd better keep out of it. Let's talk about something else instead.
Probably right.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
Where do I find the important people?
Well, you're looking at one of them. Then there's Thoris. You already know him. As for the others, you'll have to find that out by yourself. If you don't manage to do that, you don't belong here anyway. Just go through the outer ring and talk to people. Then you'll find out who's important.
What about my esteem within the camp?
I've talked to a few people.
And?
Get on with it. There are still many things to do if you want to get anywhere here in the camp.
Take care.
I thought that'd be cleared up ages ago.
Same old story every time.
Leave everything
It
you
was
hear.
obvious there would be trouble ahead.
Well, how's it going?
What do you want?
I thought that had been cleared up ages ago.
Hang on. Better not go rushing into anything.
Well, there was a time when things would have gone...
I want to know what this camp has to offer.
Then you better ask the diggers.
Rely on somebody in your...
They don't have anything to do all day anyway.
I wouldn't like to be in his shoes,
I
though.
thought that'd be cleared up
You're
ages
probably
ago.
right.
Maybe.
There was a time when things would have gone very differently.
Hang on.
I better keep it. If you flick.
How are you doing?
Well, since I stopped working in the mine, I can't really complain.
And where do you get your ore from?
I help people who have problems. If you get into trouble with influential people here, I can help you sort the thing out.
People always talk.
That won't happen again.
Could you tell me which of the shadows belongs to the influential people here?
You ought to impress the right people, do you? Diego has the most power of all the shadows. He trusts Fingers, Whistler, and Sly. Dexter and Fisk sell their stuff on the market square. They have many customers, even the guards, and that makes them rather influential. And then there's Scatty. He's in charge of the arena and determines who fights and all that. Many people here owe him ore. He's important as well.
Let's talk about some trouble instead.
If I was in trouble, you could help me? How?
Well, let's assume you're in trouble with Thoris. You better never get into trouble with him, but then, well, you never know. Thoris can be quite stubborn. When he's pissed off with you once, he'll never talk to you again. And that's a bad thing. As a greenhorn, you depend on him. So you come to see me. I know a lot of people here Thoris listens to. They put in a good word for you, and Thoris is your friend again. Of course, the boys want to see some ore for these kind of favors. Your ore. And I take care that your ore gets to the right people.
Let's talk about something else instead.
Let's talk about something else instead.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
There was a time when things I thought that very different.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
What's life like here?
If you've been sent by the ore barons, tell them I don't want no trouble. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm satisfied with what they give us.
Nobody sent me. I only just got here.
A new one, huh? Newcomers always get into trouble pretty quick. I don't want to get involved, okay?
I want to know more about the camp.
You should talk to the shadows. They can tell you all you need to know. Be careful, though. You can't trust most of them.
Very probable.
As long as I'm not involved.
Some people never learn.
Wouldn't like to be in his shoes.
Right, you shouldn't believe everything. Talk about something. There was a time.
Let's talk about something else instead.
Right story.
People always
That won't happen again.
That's a report.
That wasn't very clever. But keep it to yourself.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills
Where do I find...
Well, as for the... just go through the...
What about my...
I've talked.
And?
Get on with it.
Take care.
Very probably right. I thought that it... But keep it to yourself. I better get out of it. Need to know it. But keep it to yourself. People don't need to know it.
How are you doing?
Well, since I stopped working in the mine, I can't really complain.
And where do you get your ore from?
I help people who have problems. If you get into trouble with influential people here, I can help you sort the thing out.
Could you tell me which of the shadows belongs to the...
You ought to impress them. Diego has the most power of all the Dexter and then there's
If I was in...
Well, Thoros has a green. They put it, and I take.
Well, how's it going?
What do you want?
There was a time when things would have gone very differently.
I want to know what this camp has to offer.
Then you better ask the diggers.
Something about this story.
They don't have anything to do all day anyway.
You're in trouble. That's how it goes.
Wouldn't like to be in his shoes.
I'd like to join the shadows.
Oh. Then you should know that Gomez doesn't tolerate failures.
But keep it to
If you want to be one of
You
us,
shouldn't believe everything
you
you
have to be
hear.
prepared to go through fire for him. Only half of those who tried ever got accepted.
You tell people.
What happened to the rest of them?
They're probably sitting in the new camp munching rice.
There was a time when things would have gone very differently.
As long as I'm not
If you think
That wasn't very clever.
you probably... Some people never...
That wasn't very clever.
Hi,
What do you want?
As long as I'm not involved.
Not my problem.
I want to be a shadow.
Oh. Have you talked to Diego yet?
Somebody, you're in
That
trouble.
wasn't very
That's
clever.
how it goes.
Yeah, I have.
Good. You just do as he says then.
People
It didn't do
always
me
do
any
something
harm.
That story after
Well,
all.
not really, anyway.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
As long as I'm not involved.
You gotta watch...
As long as I'm...
You're probably right.
There must be something about that story.
I want to be a shadow.
Oh. Have you talked to Diego yet?
Yeah, I have.
Good. You just do as he says then. It didn't do me any harm. Well, not really, anyway.
There must be something about that story after all.
I'm not my... As long as I'm not involved.
I wouldn't... I doubt that's ever like... That wasn't very clever.
It's not really my problem.
You have to watch.
Hey, you!
If you want to get rid of your protection money, you've picked the wrong day.
Yeah? Why's that?
'Cause I'm not here.
You have to watch what you tell people.
Oh? Where are you then?
I'm actually at the castle, sitting by the big campfire, drinking a mug of beer.
You shouldn't believe
Then how come I'm talking to you?
Nick's vanished. This district is usually his responsibility. And until he reappears,
Thoris has ordered me to guard it.
You have to watch what you tell me.
Talk about something else instead.
There was a time when things...
Do you know where Nex got to?
No, and I'm not likely to find out. If anything, the diggers in this district might know something, but diggers don't talk to guards. Especially not now they know I hate this filthy work. I bet they're laughing behind my back.
Must be something
Some
about
people
that stick.
It's about Neck.
Yeah?
No news.
Keep me posted.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Let me pass.
Keep it to yourself. Some people...
Same old.
Same old story.
You have to watch what you tell people. I doubt that's ever like a time when things would be.
What's up?
You'll learn soon enough. Be on your guard at all times, especially at night. I haven't slept properly for days, and if you don't sleep in this colony, then you're doing double time.
I doubt that's ever likely to change.
That's really
People always tell instead.
It looks as if you knew what you were doing.
Nobody ain't complained yet. But that would be a bad idea anyway. Every idiot here needs a sword, and that is what they get from me.
How long does it take you to make one blade?
That depends. I'm as fast as a hurricane with simple swords. Of course, only on condition that the price motivates me. A freak like Whistler usually has to wait longer for his toy than other people.
Why? Doesn't he pay enough?
No, on the contrary. He gave me 150 off for his last sword. The guy is into ornaments and girly stuff like that, and of course that's not cheap. Hey, you ain't curious at all, are you, pal?
I'd like to try working here as well.
Ah, but don't you think that you can make great blades?
What do I have to do?
Okay, take the steel and hold it into the fire. Then you have to lay the red-hot steel across the anvil. When you're finished, you put the hot blade into the water bucket over there to temper it. The cooled blade finally has to be sharpened on the grindstone.
I see.
However, you'll need some things for that. I could sell them to you.
I'd like to buy some blacksmith equipment.
As long as I'm not rushing into it. There must be something about that story after all. That's really not my problem. That won't happen. Hey, who cares? You're very probably right. Maybe. You shouldn't believe everything. that's ever likely to change.
I doubt that's ever likely to change. Let's talk about something else instead.
The worst shit.
Yourself.
Is there anything more interesting than huts to see?
Well, you can go to the arena in the evenings and watch the guards putting each other's faces out of joint. It really is worth the entrance fee.
Hey,
that there would be trouble ahead. That's not really my problem. You're very probably.
That's really not my problem.
There must be something. Same old.
Let's talk about it.
You're very probably right.
Same old story, problem.
Some people never learn. Some people.
But keep it to yourself.
That won't end with you have to watch what same old story every time.
People always talk.
I wouldn't like to be
Hi, I'm new here.
You don't say. Tell me about the outside world. It's been over a month since I heard anything from outside. I'm Kurgo. I fight in the arena.
Are you good?
At fighting? I haven't been doing it for long, but I've already won a fight.
I'm new here. Who are you?
I'm Kareem. You must have just been booted in here, or else you'd have heard of me. I'm the best fighter this damned camp has ever seen.
What's your job here?
I'm in charge of the arena. I organize the bets, hire new fighters. You know.
I thought the old camp and the new camp didn't get on. So why do you let their people fight here?
It's simple. There's fights here once a week, and the diggers always like to see one of the rogues from the new camp get flattened. If one of them fights, there's more bets, and that's good for business. Personally, I can't stand the swines from the new camp. But business is business.
Do you train fighters at all?
Yeah, but not just for fun. If you want me to train you, you'll have to pay for it.
I want to join the camp. Can you help me?
I might be able to, if you manage to impress me. Some of the best fighters from all three camps come here to compete against each other. Challenge one of them to a fight. I'll watch you, and if you're good, maybe I'll think about it.
I'd like to challenge you to a fight in the arena.
What? But I don't want to fight. Why don't we just have a beer together and talk about the outside world?
Okay, give me a beer then.
Here you are.
Thanks. I'm afraid I can't tell you much about the outside world. They kept me locked away in a dark hole for almost 2 months before throwing me in here.
That's a shame. Oh well, never mind. Hey, you're still looking pretty good for someone who's been locked up for 2 months.
I'd like it to stay that way too.
Then why do you insist on fighting one of us?
I want to get acknowledged in the camp.
By Scotty, you mean? He's one of the most influential men in the outer ring. You might be able to impress him by defeating me. But if you really want to impress him, it's Karim you need to beat. Only thing is, I'm afraid he might be too good for you. If you still want to fight me, let me know. But I won't enjoy knocking you out cold.
Let's fight. Are you ready?
Follow me. Right. Let's get to it. May the best man win.
Boring fight.
Don't try that again.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself an...
Do we start right now?
First,
what do I have to...
If you want, there are a few. Then you'll... Besides...
Where do I find...
Well, as for the... Just go through the...
That wasn't very clever.
What about my...
And? Get on with...
Take care.
You have to. Hang on. I go rushing into anything. If you think.
Maybe.
How are you doing?
Well, since I...
And where do you get...
I help you. If you get into...
Could you tell me...
You ought to impress. Diego has the most... Dexter and Fisk sell theirs. And then there's Scotty. He's an...
If I...
Well, Thora has a green... They... And I take...
But keep it to yourself. People don't need to know. Maybe.
I wouldn't like to. It was obvious. Don't watch it when you know.
Hey, you!
If you want to get rid of your protection money, you've picked the wrong day.
Yeah? Why's that?
'Cause I'm not here!
Hang on.
Oh? Where are you then?
I'm actually at the cash.
Then how come
Next and until...
Do you know?
No. If anything, especially...
Why don't you just collect...
Nick did his rounds before he disappeared. There's not much left to collect now.
Maybe. You gotta watch what you tell people.
What's up?
You'll learn soon enough. I haven't slept right.
What are you doing here?
Me? I'm fighting for the glory of the Sleeper.
What is the Sleeper?
You will find priests who will be able to answer that question better than I can in our camp. I'll just tell you this much. The Sleeper is our Redeemer. He has led us to this place, and he'll get us out of here.
You mean you're waiting for your God to liberate you?
Yes, and the wait will soon be over. A great invocation is currently being prepared.
What kind of invocation is it you're planning?
Our prophets say that the common invocation of the Sleeper is the key to freedom. If you want to find out more about it, just come to our camp.
Hi, I'm new here.
You don't say. Tell me about the outside world. It's been over a month since I heard anything from outside. I'm Kurgo. I fight in the arena.
Are you good?
At fighting? I haven't been doing it for long, but I've already won a fight. Come on, I want to pass!
What's your job here?
I'm in charge.
I want to join the camp.
I might be. Some of the best challenge one.
I thought the...
It's simple. If one of them personally... Let me pass.
Come on!
I'd like to challenge you to a fight in the arena.
What? But I don't want to fight. Why don't we just have a beer together and talk about the outside world?
Okay. Give me a beer then.
Here you are.
Thanks. I'm afraid I can't tell you much about the outside world. They kept me locked away in a dark hole for almost 2 months before throwing me in here.
That's a shame. Oh well, never mind. Hey, you're still looking pretty good for someone who's been locked up for 2 months.
I'd like it to stay that way too.
Then why do you insist on fighting one of us?
I want to get acknowledged in the camp.
By Scotty, you mean? He's one of the most influential men in the outer ring. You might be able to impress him by defeating me. But if you really want to impress him, it's Karim you need to beat. Only thing is, I'm afraid he might... If you still want to...
Let's fight. Are you ready?
Follow me.
Put that thing away or you're
Put
done
the
for.
weapons down!
Right.
Put
Let's
that
get
bloody
to
weapon away now!
May the best man win.
The fight's been decided!
Don't try that again!
Better keep out of it.
come on, I want to pass.
Don't blather so much. Yeah.
I'd better keep out.
Let's talk about something else these days.
But keep it.
That's... That won't happen again. Hang on. Let's not go rushing into anything.
But keep it to yourself.
Same old story.
You're hunting, aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do to start with. Then we'll see.
I don't have any beer.
Then go and fetch some. That'll be the best free hint you'll get in a long time. And as you're going anyway, bring some ore with you as well. I can give you some information about animals, but it'll cost you.
Hey, you.
What do you want?
I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know the right people. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordrag. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint, don't go into the forest.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind. Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them, once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
Hi, I'm new here.
How nice for you.
Is that the old camp over there?
No, that's the new camp. The old camp is underneath the bridge.
Let me pass.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too close, they'll become irritated. After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer. If you know how, you can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
If you think... Listen to all the blathering.
You're very probably right. If you think.
Hey, you! That was lucky.
Let's talk about... You gotta watch
That was a time for stage.
I better keep out.
That's really not my problem. I doubt it's ever likely to change.
I am new here.
Just arrived, have you? I'm Grim. I haven't been here for long either. I was thrown in with the load before you.
Things would have gone very differently.
What's life like here?
Easy going. As long as you pay your share of protection money to the guards.
What do I have to do if I want to get admitted to this camp?
Well, first of all, you have to become a shadow. Therefore, you have to find somebody who supports you, somebody who explains everything to you and takes responsibility for you. If I was you, I'd try to keep close to Diego. I did it like that. He's quite all right. He'll make you take the test of faith. That's different from everybody. Then there'll be some other smaller tasks from other shadows. If you manage them, you'll be with us.
And how far have you got with your tests?
I've already talked to Dexter and Sly and Fingers. They are some of the most influential shadows here in the camp.
What was your test of faith?
I can't tell you, man. You have to be silent about things like that here.
And how far have you got with your tests?
I've already talked to Dexter and Sly.
Hey, you!
Are you talking to me?
I'm warning you, people like you can get into trouble awfully quick round here. And most of the guys they chuck in here are bastards. They think they can do what they like to you, but we won't allow that. Gomez wants some peace in the camp, and we guards make sure he gets it. But it's a job that doesn't come cheap. That's why I'm asking you for some ore. Look on it as a kind of token of friendship. You help us, and we'll help you. If you get in trouble, we'll be there for you.
Keep it to yourself. People don't need to know it. You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Why not? How much ore were you thinking of?
Not much. 10 ore, that's all I need.
I don't have 10 ore.
Then I'll take whatever you have. That's okay. You can give me the rest next time I see you. Let me see. Oh, I take small donations too. It's the thought that counts. Thanks for the ore, kid. From now on, I'll be watching out for you whenever you're in the camp.
See ya.
Don't you worry about anything here in the camp. We'll be looking out for you.
That's how it goes. You think.
I'm new here. Who are you?
I am Baal Taran of the Brotherhood of the Sleeper.
Who is the Sleeper?
The Sleeper is our Redeemer. He disclosed himself 5 years ago through Iberian, our master. Since then, we have renounced the 3 gods, and you should do so as well. The gods just stood by and watched while we were exiled to this prison, but the Sleeper will lead us to freedom.
How does your god prove his might?
He speaks to us through visions. Whoever hears his voice no longer doubts his might. If you take the weed which grows in the swamp, you will be close to the Sleeper and able to hear him. Some people even see images.
I see. What is the Brotherhood of the Sleeper?
We're a community of believers in a new faith. Our camp is situated in the east, in the swamp. I've come to preach the words of the Sleeper to strangers like you.
Tell me about the Sleeper's teachings.
The Sleeper is a powerful being, maybe even more powerful than Innos, the god of light. He is with us in spirit, but his power is still limited. He has been sleeping for 1,000 years, but now the moment of his awakening is near. He has chosen us to be witnesses to his awakening and to spread his word. So listen, all those who join the Sleeper will have immortal souls, but those who are against him will be punished. But the Sleeper is compassionate and sends proof of his might to all who doubt him.
What will the way to freedom look like?
We are preparing a great invocation of the Sleeper, in which all novices create the contact together. In this invocation, the Sleeper will reveal the path to freedom.
I need to get into the castle. Can you help me?
I fear I cannot, brother. The only ones among us who may enter the castle are those who supply the weed to Gomez. We gather swamp weed and sell part of it to the old camp in exchange for goods from the outside world. If you were one of the couriers working for Kor Kalom, you could get into the castle. But for that, you would need to be one of us. What do you want to do in the castle anyway?
I want to meet somebody there.
Do you? Who? And why don't you just wait until he comes out?
That's none of your business.
Fine, man. I just wanted to help.
How do I get to the Brotherhood's camp?
I'm busy, but Baal Parvez should be somewhere in this camp as well. He's near the marketplace, on the other side of the castle. I believe he's even got his own hut there.
New here, are ya? I don't know your face. I'm Sly. I have a job on offer for a newcomer.
You have a job for me? What is it?
One of our guards has disappeared. He's called Neck. He might have gone over to the new camp. You're new here, and you'll get around quite a lot, so keep your eyes peeled. If you find him, I'll speak up for you in the camp.
What good will your speaking up for me do?
If you want to join the camp, you need people to speak up for you. If I speak up for you with Diego, that'd be a great help for you.
I'll see if I can find him.
If you meet Fletcher, ask him about Neck. He's taken over his district since Neck disappeared.
Where will I find him?
His district is the district of the arena.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear. Rely on somebody and you're in trouble. That's how it goes. There must be something about that story after all.
I want to become a shadow.
So?
Can you help me?
I wouldn't know how.
You wouldn't speak up for me in front of Diego, would you?
Depends.
If you demonstrate that you've learned something as a thief, we could make use of you.
How am I supposed to do that?
Learn a thief's skill. You need to become more skilled in sneaking around, pickpocketing, or opening locks. Then you'll have my vote.
There was a time when things... You have to watch what you tell
when things
people.
would have gone very differently.
It's about Nick.
Yeah?
No news.
Keep me posted.
Hello?
I haven't seen you before. You're new here, aren't you?
Just recently arrived.
Have you already decided which camp you want to join?
No, what do you think?
Well, it depends. Each camp has its advantages, I guess. Until you've made your decision, you can stay here. A hut just became available.
That won't happen again. There must be something about that story after all. People always talk.
What are the advantages of the old camp?
If you pay protection money to the guards, you can have a laid-back life here. They always interfere if one of the paying diggers is attacked. Besides, you can only get the goods from the outside world cheap here. These things are unaffordable in the other camps.
Let's talk about something else instead. As long as
And what if two people fight each other who both pay protection money?
Then the guards just watch until one of them kills the other. Then they do him in.
I'm not listening to all the blathering anymore. You're very probably right.
What goods are considered precious here?
Everything from the outside world. Bread, cheese, and bacon, and above all, beer and wine. Not the cheap rice schnapps from the new camp, but really good stuff. You always get a good price for weapons, and armor is really expensive. The guards took the old armor off the prison guards after they killed them. You can always recognize them by their armor. They only sell it to other guards. You could never get a hold of one as an outsider.
I think I've heard enough about the old camp.
I like it here.
I'm not listening to all the blathering anymore.
Why should I join the sect?
Well, you better ask somebody from the sect camp. There are always a couple of novices in the camp, and I'm sure they can tell you a lot about the sect. I've never been there myself, but according to everything that's said, they must be really generous. None of the three camps seems to be as much in need of new people as the sect camp.
Which of the huts can I take for myself?
The hut over there with the little canopy is empty.
People always. Why does that happen over and over again? You're very probably right. There must be something about that story after all. Don't blather so much. Yeah. I thought that had been cleared ages ago. Why does that happen over and over again? I'm not listening to all that blathering anymore.
Hi.
What do you want?
That's how it goes. Maybe, but who cares?
What people should I know around here?
If you get into any trouble with the guards, go and see Gravo. You'll find him at the bathing place, near the castle gate. He deals with guys who get into trouble. It happens quicker than you'd expect, especially to newcomers.
There was a time when things would have gotten very different. Why does that happen over and over again? Maybe, but who cares? That won't happen again.
There must be something about that story after all.
I'm not
That wasn't very clever.
I'm not listening to your blathering anymore. But keep...
Maybe, but who cares?
Yeah.
As long as I'm not followed.
Some people never learn.
Hey, newcomer. I'm Mordrag. You should remember that name. You can buy any kind of goods from me at a cheap price.
People never learn something about that story after all. Why does that happen over and over again?
Show me your goods.
Choose something.
But keep it to yourself. The worst shit. I doubt that's ever likely to change. What you tell people. I better keep out of it. People always talk. You have to watch what you tell people. There must be something about that story after all. You shouldn't believe everything you hear. The worst shit. I was in his shoes, though. You shouldn't believe everything